Hello my dear friends and colleagues. In this video I am going to talk about ovarian cysts. Ovarian cyst can arise in the adolescent age group, in the premenopausal age group and the postmenopausal age group. In this particular video I am going to talk about the premenopausal ovarian cyst. So the chances that a symptomatic ovarian cyst is malignant in the young age, that is less than 50, is 1 in 1000, and when the age is more than 50, then the chances that this ovarian cyst which is symptomatic is malignant is 3 in 1000. When we suspect an ovarian tumor, the chances that it is non-ovarian in origin is around 10%. How do we assess an ovarian cyst? So it can present with acute symptoms like severe pain in abdomen, nausea, vomiting. So it is because of the ovarian accidents like ovarian cyst rupture, hemorrhage or torsion. It can present with chronic symptoms like abdominal distension, dull pain, nausea, vomiting, appetite changes. It can cause pressure symptoms like urinary frequency, urgency. Various tumors are like benign ovarian tumors, for example, functional ovarian cyst, endometrioma, mature cystic teratoma, benign cysts like mucinous cystadenoma, serous cystadenoma. Then non-ovarian benign tumors like hydrosalpinx, paratubal cyst. It can arise from the appendix or the diverticulum, that is appendicular abscess, diverticular abscess or peritoneal cyst. Then there can be primary tumors of the ovary, malignant tumors, that is epithelial ovarian tumors, germ cell tumors and sex cord stromal tumors. There can be secondary malignancies which are coming from the breast malignancies or the gastrointestinal tract. On examination, we have to see for her body mass index, evidence of pallor, jaundice, pedal edema, respiratory system examination, cardiovascular examination, per abdominal examination to know, and a vaginal examination to know the characterization of the mass, the size of the tumor, the surface areas of tenderness, any nodularity and localized lymphadenopathy. Now coming to the investigations, there are two modalities. One is the tumor markers and second is the imaging technique. In tumor markers, CA-125, but it is not indicated if the cyst is simple and just a fluid filled functional cyst. But if the cyst is complex, like there are some solid areas or any papillary structures, then CA-125 is needed. If it is less than 200, then the risk of malignancy is less and it is managed by a general gynecologist. If it is more than 200, then the risk of malignancy is high and we have to refer her to the gynae oncologist. If the lady is less than 40 years and she has a complex ovarian cyst, then we have to do LDH, alpha fetoprotein and beta HCG. Now coming to the imaging, transvaginal ultrasound is the best modality in the diagnosis, but if the cyst is large and occupying the abdomen, then we have to combine the transvaginal and transabdominal ultrasound. After this, we have to calculate the risk of malignancy index, which is a tool for the diagnosis of ovarian cancers when we suspect that there is ovarian malignancy. How to calculate, I will be showing in the chart. The third modality is the IOTA scoring system. It has B rules and M rules for the confirmation whether it's a benign ovarian lesion or a malignant one. The B rules include a simple unilocular ovarian cyst. There is acoustic shadowing. If any solid area, it is less than 7 millimeters. There is no blood flow, and a multilocular smooth tumor where the size of the cyst is less than 10 centimeters. And then the M rules, it includes an irregular solid ovarian tumor. There is presence of ascites, there is heavy blood flow in that tumor, and the papillary structures are present which are at least 4 in number, and the multilocular solid mass where the cyst size is more than 10 centimeters. Now coming to the management. If the cyst is simple, that is just simple fluid filled cyst is there, then we have to manage this algorithm which I am telling you right now. If the cyst is less than 5 centimeters, we don't have to do anything. We will discharge the patient. There is no need of any further investigations. But if the cyst is 5 to 7 centimeters, then we have to do annual follow-up. If the cyst is more than 7 centimeters, then we have to do characterization of the tumor. Maybe MRI is needed or some surgical intervention, because if the cyst is more than 7 centimeters, she may have a rupture of the cyst or torsion, and so surgical intervention is needed in that. Surgical intervention is in the form of cystectomy. It can be done laparoscopically or it can be done by a laparotomy. If laparoscopy is done, the advantages of laparoscopy definitely are there, but the cyst has to be removed through the umbilical port, and there is no need of extending the lateral ports, and a tissue bag should be there for extracting the cyst so that the spillage of the cyst is avoided, and the risk of chemical peritonitis is 0.2%. If the cyst is more than 7 centimeters, then we have to do bimanual laparotomy, because the spillage and rupture has to be avoided. So if the cyst is simple, we have to follow these rules, but if the cyst is complex, then we have to do further imaging in the form of MRI scan, and a surgical intervention is needed accordingly. In the next video, I will be talking about the postmenopausal ovarian cyst. So if you like the content of this channel, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe my channel.